1946, that is when Tata Madiba in Sharpeville, Soweto, signed the Constitution. And 10th of December, today's the 9th, so tomorrow, you know that we have done our bit today to commemorate that auspicious moment of this Constitution coming to be. So what we do annually, because as you can see, this takes a lot of time, takes a lot of investment. It's a phenomenal occasion that happens annually to commemorate this auspicious signing of the Constitution by our Tata Madiba, President Nelson Mandela. So, and to help us commemorate that, we've had the help, the help of the judiciary. So this training occasion could not happen without the support of the echelons of our judiciary, and we want to say thank you to our Constitutional Court justices that permitted this occasion to occur. All of us as advocates, we have decades of experience amongst us, and in our training, none of us have ever had the luxury of being trained in a constitutional court. So, you know, you can speak to many practitioners, this is the echelon. So you have basically been learning on the tools of trade with the highest tool in the highest forum. And if you look at, you know, like I used the AK-47 and a gun and a stick, I mean, you're not even learning to bat with a stick. You are learning on the highest weapon ever, in the highest forum. You're learning how to shoot with the AK-47, you know? So what I'm saying is, it really even, like it's surreal to me that this can happen, and it just is a commemorative moment, because it doesn't happen without Tata Madiba, his signing of that Constitution, the Constitution being into being, and also, like I said when we were in chambers, as we're sitting and presiding, as you're sitting and addressing on the bench, you can see the footsteps of those through the windows. The architecture of this entire structure is to entrench in everybody how these rights are impacting those that are walking beside the court. And we are actually, when you're sitting, you're actually lower than the footsteps. So that is the humility that you need to bring into this occasion when we are dealing with the rule of law and advancing human rights. And as the judiciary sits, I mean, as you're looking at the judges, you are seeing footsteps. So it puts into context that they are a means, the judiciary is there to advance the rule of law and to ensure the supremacy of the Constitution. It is not about, you know, individuals, it's really not about us, it's the rule of law. So as you take this forward, what we're doing today, someday, you will take forward and assist others. And the ultimate is access to justice, which is Section 34. And if you look at the Legal Practice Act, which we were all interrogating, the purpose is to ensure access to justice for those with the footsteps that are walking besides us. So from that point of view, I cannot commend the judiciary more. The echelons are judiciary, and I've mentioned the Constitutional Court, but had we not had such phenomenal support from the Supreme Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court of Appeal justices readily engaged with us. They presided with us. So we've had the Supreme Court of Appeal assistance, and there's been no hesitation. Judges have really come to the fore into assisting in developing, and we really want to say thank you. We cannot say thank you enough. And as advocates, in our training, we believe it is our duty to train. It's something that must happen, because that's how we ensure that the rule of law continues, because we have a wealth of experience, and the intellectual pool of those of us in practice, it's a unique pool, because we have experience. So those that don't have those years of experience, we always tap into that pool. That's what happens in practice. We may be opponents, but as you saw, we have to even advance and highlight to the court cases that are against our client. That is because we are working for the rule of law. And a job of counsel, yes, you advance the best interest of your client, but the job of counsel is always to assist the court. You are always there to help the judge. So even though you're thinking, oh, this judge is asking 30,000 questions, why doesn't the judge da-da-da? It doesn't matter, because you must help that judge come to the right conclusion, because that judgment impacts not only that individual, it may have force and effect upon everybody else that's walking around a court until it is overturned by a higher court or there is another trajectory. So what I want to, in conclusion, I have to thank the leadership of SABWiL, because truly nothing great is ever achieved by one individual, in my view. No one individual, you know, one human being, we're human, you know, you die, you have limited ability, energy. I personally don't think anything great is achieved by one individual. Anything that impacts society on a phenomenal basis is always collective. There's always a lot of people that come to the fore. And SABWiL is really built on the leadership, and I want to thank the national executive committees. We are now in our 5th national executive committee. So we've had 5 presidents. We, you know, with our 5th president, there's our deputy president standing there doing the recording. She's not looking for the fame and the glory. She's in the back giving us the highlight. But the work that our deputy president and Nomfundo is from the 4th National Executive Committee, so she's not in, last year was her leadership term. So, I mean, I have to say, SABWiL is only around because this is what you are wanting, and we are investing this energy because you've applied successfully. If you didn't send through your applications, we know we don't need to be here. We are all very busy. Everybody that's come here, the security, the directors, everybody's busy. I mean, do we want to be here unless it's valuable to you? So, because this intellectual pool that we've accumulated, what is the purpose of this pool being with us? It needs to be spread so that we can perpetrate and have access to justice for everybody that is walking, so that the Constitution can be a living document. It shouldn't just be in a book. It's not a dissertation. So I love reading dissertations. I don't think I'll ever do one, but SABWiL to me has been my dissertation in practice. So it has been my way of contribution, and I want to thank SC, because truly, if I have decades of experience, he's got decades and decades and decades of experience. So the way that it works is, there's always, my dad said to me, no matter how much you know, there's always someone else that knows more. So always be a student. And that's the way I approach it, and that's the way I think, you know, advocates engage with each other. We engage because when we are on our feet, you alone. I don't know if you learned that, but even though we engage maybe in chambers, and you might say, oh, this is the point. And then you think, okay, you don't come to the court and say to the judge, well, advocate so-and-so said so, it must be right. No. You on your own, you know, you have to make your own submission. So I think I learned that. This is a viciously independent profession. We protect our independence. So you will determine where you are headed in the future. If the attorney's route is for you, the advocacy route is for you, and this hopefully will inform if academia is for you, but every level has a contribution. Academia is vital, because sometimes we don't have the luxury of delving deep into the points, because those dissertations take years of your life. It might take 3 years to invest in a single point. But now just reading it, I can garner the information and I can take it into my practice. But we need each other as academics and as practitioners, and we need the students to still want to come forward, and the clients. And there's always problems, and you know, there are different other avenues. So I think I have concluded. Mr. DeSimelo, thank you so much for everything. What I've learned is that in any occasion, anything that happens in a court, real life situation, there are always glitches. It does happen. But I've adopted the mentality that it's never the ball being dropped. You don't judge a person when the ball is dropped. You then make a decision on how you pick it up. So the ball will drop. Have no doubt. No matter where you are, the ball will drop. But how do you pick it up? That's the test. And when I started practice, I was a perfectionist, and then I learned I do my best given the circumstances. And then I have a clear conscience. Because if you do your best, I mean, you plek thoroughly, but your circumstances, these are your factors. And then you will have ease that you've done your duty, your ultimate duty to your client and your duty to your court. But perfectionism, I mean, there's no such thing. So from that point of view, we would not be able to do this if it wasn't for Mr. DeSimillo and Ms. Sondlo, which is the director, and those at the security. You know, every individual here, the police officers in the court, when we were walking around, they were guiding us. Everybody was so helpful, and I don't know what, and I know that we are here on a Saturday when it's possibly everyone's day off. So thank you so much to our advocates for really coming to the fore and joining us on the bench and pretending for the day to be his justices. So thank you for allowing us to have those rights over you on a particular case scenario. And I'm happy that we deliberated and there's engagement, there's thinking on the point. So Malibongwe, and most of all, nothing of this nature could have manifested without the support of the family and the friends. So, you know, we stand here and everybody thinks it's us, but there is a lot that happens in the background. There's a mom, there's a dad that's sacrificed. I mean, you know, when I think back to my degree, what didn't your parents do in the background, and how didn't you stress, and how didn't they carry you? And so there's just so much that happens from a relationship basis, and that we appreciate. So to the moms, dads, and the partners, because I think when you're doing pupillage, you put your marriage at risk, you put everything at risk, you know, practice is just such a different creature. So thank you very, very much. And Malibongwe, igama lamakosikazi, Malibongwe. Malibongwe.